народу тричі слава. Слава! 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 Слава Україні! Героям слава! Дякую дуже.
No-fly zone! Implement the no-fly zone! Use those F-35s, Christina! We need a no-fly zone!
Today, we also have an MP
No-fly zone!
all the way from Manitoba.
Use those F-35s! Why do we have airplanes?
Dedicated. He's been to several of these.
I guess
Please
so.
welcome the MP for Selkirk Interlake Eastman, who currently serves as the Shadow Minister of Ethics, Mr. James Bizan.
I know that as Canadians, we stand united with Ukraine. I can tell you that all of us here as parliamentarians, regardless of political stripe, stand united with Ukraine. We support the government of Canada, and I thank Minister Freeland so much for making the moves on banning Russian banks from the SWIFT financial system. We thank the government for all of the sanctions that have been leveled against the Russian oligarchs, against Putin, against Foreign Minister Lavrov, and everyone in his inner circle. And we have to keep ramping up those sanctions until we break Russia's financial back. You know, this has been a very difficult week for all of us. Our hearts break knowing so many of our friends and our family are dying and are fighting so hard because they are patriotic Ukrainians. You know, in 2008, I brought forward the private member's bill to recognize the Holodomor as a genocide. And we received unanimous support. And I can tell you that I wouldn't believe that we are potentially looking at another genocide taking place in Ukraine today because of the toxic rhetoric coming from Vladimir Putin, his revisionist history, his idea that Ukrainians are oppressing Russian speakers. But we know that the fight of Kharkiv, place where I've been, I've done election monitoring there, I've gone right to the border, even after, you know, I got banned from Russia along with Ted Opitz, along with Chrystia Freeland. You know, we went right to the Russian border to make a point. And even though that is a Russian-speaking part of Ukraine, they weren't there, as Putin expected, to be liberated. They picked up guns as citizens of Ukraine, as patriots of Ukraine, and are fighting back. And today, all of us, as Canadians, are patriotic Ukrainians as well, as we stand in the face of this Russian aggression, of Putin's trying to unilaterally redraw international boundaries. And I know that there's more that we can do. Yesterday, our leader, Candice Bergen, came out with a statement of, you know, support for the government of Canada and some ideas of what we can do next. Let's expel the Russian ambassador from Ukraine. Let's expel the Russian ambassador from Canada. Let's recall our ambassador. Get him out of Moscow. Bring him home. Russia doesn't belong anymore in any of our international organizations. We need to isolate Putin on the world stage. Kick him out of the G20. Kick him out of the OSCE. While we're at it, let's try to kick Russia out of the UN as well. And after that, let's drag him in front of The Hague, where he can face trial for all his war crimes he's committing right now. You know, there is just so much that we can do. Everything has to be on the table, including sending more defensive equipment, both lethal and non-lethal, sending over the anti-tank weapons, sending over the, more stuff to help deal with their air defenses. And what we're seeing today in all those Ukrainian soldiers who are fighting so well against Putin's war machine, that is a result of all the training that's been done over the last 8 years. Started under Stephen Harper, carried on by Prime Minister Trudeau, and we have seen 34,000 Ukrainians trained by Canadian soldiers. We have seen also more soldiers trained by the Americans, the Polish, and other NATO allies who have trained those soldiers, and they're so professional, and that's why they got the upper hand in fighting back and defending Ukraine. If we really want to get people out of harm's way, and if they want to make their way to Canada, let's do like the European Union and make visa-free travel from Ukraine to Canada. As conservatives, we believe we can cut the red tape and get people to safety as quickly as possible and reunite with their families right here in Canada. Stand with Ukraine, and we'll do everything in our power to make sure that Ukraine will be free and out underneath the war barbarian Vladimir Putin's grasp. And we will support all the fighting liberators, those brave men and women, whether they're soldiers or volunteers who have stayed back and helped defend their homeland. We will be there with them step by step. Slava Ukraini! Slava Ukraini! And let's remember there's a special place in hell for Vladimir Putin, and let's hope that the Ukrainian soldier that puts him there.